Is a NEET 2016 question in collisions. The problem is like this. Two identical balls having velocity 0.5 and minus 0.3 collide elastically in one dimension. Velocity of B and A. Carefully is asking for B first. After the collision is how much? First of all, we need to know that in one dimensional elastic collision, in one-dimensional elastic collision, if bodies of m1 and m2 before the collision are moving with velocities u1 and u2, after the collision, let they have velocities v1 and v2. Both momentum and kinetic energy are conserved. Taking that into consideration, we can derive an equation for the final velocity after the collision in terms of initial velocities. v1 as m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 of u1 plus 2m2 by m1 plus m2 of u2 and v2 as 2m1 by m1 plus m2 of u1 plus m2 minus m1 by. Well, I have derived these equations in our collisions playlist. Please go through that. If you don't know, you need to know this. I have derived this, right? But here, one important thing is the two balls are identical. That means if m1 equal to m2 equal to m, what happens to v1? Look at this equation. When m1 equal to m2, this term becomes 0. What happens? v1 will become 2m by m plus m of u2. That is 2m and 2m will cancel. So v1 will become u2. And look at v2. Again, when m1 equal to m2, this second term becomes 0 because this is equal to same. What happens then? v2 will become 2m by m plus m of u1. So 2m will cancel. So if you notice carefully, v1 has become u2, v2 has become u1. So before collision u1 and u2, after the collision u2 and u1. So what we can say? Identical masses after one-dimensional elastic collision exchange their velocities. This will be given to that and that will be taken for this. So what is given for you is u1 equal to 0.5 meter per second, u2 equal to minus 0.3 meter per second. That implies v1 equal to u2, that is minus 0.3 meter per second. v2 equal to u1 plus 0.5 meter per second. So velocity of B will be 0.5. Velocity of A will be minus 0.3. Be careful that he asked the velocity of B first and then A. So B first. B has to be 0.5. So that is the answer. Be careful, right? Velocity of the A and B is minus 0.3 and 0.5. That's velocity of B and A is 0.5 and minus 0. That's the answer for the problem. So to solve this very problem, you need to know this core formulas. I have derived these formulas in the collisions playlist. Please look into that if you don't know so that you'll be able to remember that formulas. That's how you have to solve the problem. Thank you for watching.